Hey everybody, we are here today to bring you a tutorial video, and the tutorial is going to be on terraforming. Over a couple of videos of ours, people have asked for this, and we thought we'd start with terraforming since it is the foundation of all good projects. So I am here with Hinder. Hinder, say hello.
Hello.
And I am Vorske. I'm the panda. Hello. So yeah, for this we're going to use voxel sniper, which is by far the best tool for terraforming. It's what everyone uses. So I'm going to let Hinder take you through a few things, and yeah, let's get on with it. So Hinder, take it away.
All right. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get out an arrow and gunpowder. Anybody who has used voxel before, you probably know these are the basic building tools that are used with this plugin. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to take this large rainforest area and we are going to clear it out rapidly, and then we are going to teach you how to push the land away and make yourselves a basic mountain using some of the basic brushes as well as some of the more obscure ones that are within voxel. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our arrow in our hand and we are going to type B erase, and that is like this.
Erase?
Yeah, B erase, just like that. Okay, and then what we're going to do, once we have that tool selected and we have our arrow out, we're going to set the size of our brush to 15. That is /B space 15.
Rightio.
Now, what you have to understand is when you're voxeling, you need to always be careful about the size of your brush. If you ever want to reset your brush to not being able to do anything that can hurt or harm your server or your builds, just type /D at any point, and that will reset all your settings to default. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and jump in here, and we're going to just start erasing stuff. And as you can see pretty rapidly below us, let me go ahead and get rid of the weather.
Yeah, it's all rainy and miserable, just like England is at the moment.
Alright, so we're going to get rid of the storm and we're going to go ahead and set it to noon, that way you all can see really well. And what we're going to do is we're going to start rapidly getting rid of all of this stuff. And as you can see, what the erase brush does is it takes away everything that isn't a natural block as voxel sees it. So that basically means it's going to take out everything that's not gravel, stone, bedrock, and dirt, and sand, and I believe grass. So it's going to take out just about everything else. So basically, this is not something you want to use near one of your builds unless you're very controlled with it. You also don't want to go clicking off in the distance, because unless you have your sniper set correctly, it will harm builds off that you may not be able to see on your screen.
Now, can you do this with World Edit? I think we just should mention World Edit since that was one of the first terraforming tools.
World Edit you can do this with, but it's much more complicated. You have to use mask brushes and things like that. So basically what you want to... what I try to teach people is the easiest way is generally the best way to do it. And voxel is such a powerful tool in and of itself. It was made specifically to do large projects like this, whereas World Edit was made more for structural building. The people at World Edit, don't get me wrong, they've done a wonderful job with making that plugin, but the people at voxel have, they started from the get-go wanting to make gigantic mountains and large builds and things of that nature. So it was, it's just kind of a natural progression of things.
Okay.
So now we're going to make a mountain out of a molehill, and we're going to take this area and we're going to push it, and then we're going to mold it, and we're going to make it into a mountain, and it's going to be beautimous, and you're going to love it.
Yay!
So in order to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to use our melt brush. That is /B space E space melt, such as what I just typed. Now, melt brush, the fill brush, and the smooth brush are all considered erosion brushes in Sniper, and what they do is they use the algorithms that are within Minecraft, all that advanced math crap that nobody wants to deal with. The people at voxel have gone and they've broken all that down and they've put it into a brush to make you be able to push the land in a natural looking way. So what your melt brush is going to do when you use your arrow is, as you can see here, it's going to push things away from you. You see that, Ed?
Alright, let me come over to you. I just stood still because it's a little laggy for me with all this world editing going on. Oh, voxeling going on.
Alright. So what you can see here is it's going to be pushing all of this out. And that's what our melt brush does. Now, say we push this out and we've pushed it a little too far, what we're going to do is we're going to switch over to our gunpowder, and we can click and it'll pull it towards us. And based on where our character is located, we can pull it in that direction. So if I want to pull it up, I go above it and it'll pull it towards me. And if I want to pull it, out, I go, away from it, obviously. Okay, so basically what we want to do is, remember, we're still on a size 15 brush, so you want to be a little bit weary. You can also, if you are on a lower hardware server, you want to be careful about the size of your brushes as well, because massive block editing can cause a lot of lag, as Ed was just mentioning.
Yeah, even for me, with just the two of us here, it is lagging quite a lot. And that's not even due to computer specs. I'm running a GTX 670, so it just goes to show you how intensive this is. So you really do have to be careful. Trust me, we've crashed many servers.
Yeah, I pride myself on crashing servers. It's amazing.
One of our staff managed to turn a whole server into ice trees. That was with World Edit, granted, but still quite funny until we had to roll it back by a couple of days.
Very memorable. Alright, so as you can see, we can use that to kind of alter terrain that's already here. And what's really cool about that is because Minecraft already, if you're working within a natural world, not a flat grass world, it already creates really cool stuff. But sometimes you'll notice it just it'll leave a mountain hanging and it'll just get really jagged, or only be like one thing, one block wide. So if you want to just take the natural terrain and edit it, you can use your erosion brushes, which is really nice. Now, we're going to assume that we want to make a whole new mountain in this area. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill in some of these gaps, and we're going to do that using the voxel brush. That's going to be /B space V. Alright, so once we have that, we are going to set our size of our voxel to 20. That's going to be, once again, it's /B space 20. And we're going to set the material of our brush to stone. So that's going to be /V. That's what sets the actual material to stone, which is 1. That's the data code for it. So now that we've got that, now once again, this brush is even bigger than the one we were just using. So once again, always double check your brush sizes. I know I keep saying that, but that's a really huge thing because you don't want to completely destroy your server. And you'll see that these are very large pieces of stone that I'm putting in. Now, when you're putting in anything that's this large, that's generating a block this size, these are about 60,000 blocks by themselves. So what you want to do is put them in one at a time and don't go crazy just clicking all over the place, or more than likely your server will time out.
So why is it better to do it like this than just go crazy with the melt tool and the lift tool and the smooth tools?
Well, essentially, you're not going to get any sort of levity out of that, and you're not going to get any depth out of it. You're going to alter the terrain, but you're not going to get anything that looks substantial enough that you're going to want to keep it. So what you're going to want to do is you want to create yourself like a basic shape out of these squares, and then I'm going to show you how to kind of round it off.
Okay.
And then after we've rounded it off a little bit, I'm going to show you how to do some quick arches. And of course, we'll be able to fast forward through a good chunk of that so that you all can just learn.
Well, I think what we're going to do now is we're going to let Hinder get to work, and we're going to watch it for a bit, and we'll see what comes out at the end. Okay, so there we have it, a basic structure. We got a few more brushes to go over, so Hinder's just going to take you through them. So what are they?
Alright, well the first one we're going to cover is the overlay brush, which basically what that does is that it allows us to take this gigantic chunk of stone and turn it into dirt and grass and make it look like it's in a spring meadow, and it's just beautiful and amazing. The second one we're going to cover is the blend ball, which is a way to blend one terrain into another, as well as it has a secondary function I'm going to teach you about when we get to that. So first things first, what we're going to do is we're going to use our overlay brush, which is /B space over, O-V-E-R, and then space D for depth, and then a number. That is how many blocks you want it to go down. For this one, what we're going to do is we're going to use 3. So it's going to be /B space over space D3.
Okay.
Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to set our material to dirt, which is the data ID 3, so we're going to do /V3. And then we're going to set the size of our brush to 10, which is /B space 10. Okay, now what that's going to do is that's going to make the top 3 blocks dirt. And as you can see, especially right here on the side of the mountain, what that does is it allows it to look like there is basically a dirt covering to some of this stone that has slowly but surely eroded over years, and it gives it a natural look. Now what we're going to do is, a lot of people are probably going to ask, okay, well, why can't we just do it with grass and then just let it, you know, take care of itself? Because what we're going to do next is we're going to overlay it with grass. Well, the reason you can't do that is because when you overlay grass underneath ground, what it does is it causes your server to have to catch up and to convert all of that stuff that's underneath the first block back to dirt. So you don't want to put any overload on your server. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to do this in dirt like so, and then what we're going to do is we're going to do /B space over space D1, set our depth to 1. And we're going to go ahead and set our material to 2, which is the data ID for grass. We're going to leave our brush size the same, and we're going to go ahead and paint over this little bit here. And as you can see, all of that dirt starts to change to grass. We're obviously not going to do the entire mountain because this is something you kind of need to experiment with on your own. Now, so that is basically how we're going to paint our mountain once it's done. Now, the last brush that I want to cover with you is, it's called a blend ball, and this is probably one of the best things that you can do as a terraformer. What it does is it allows you to blend shapes together, and it also allows you to create these overhangs like what I've done right here. And basically, by doing this, you're going to see your terraforming skills come along at a very, very elevated rate. So this is something you're going to want to experiment with. Now, in order to start that brush, what you're going to want to do is you're going to do /B space BB. Now, once you have it selected, what's going to happen is your arrow is going to cause things to blend together, as you can see, and you see it starts pushing out that grass a little bit, and it converts it back to stone. And basically what it does is it does exactly what it says. It starts to blend these things together. Now, this does not only work on natural terrain, it works with blocks as well. So like if you come down here and I do it on a tree, it'll start converting that tree back to, you know, natural terrain as well. Now, the secondary function, which is actually the best part about this, is your gunpowder. You're going to take that out, and you can see this when you use it, it starts pulling it towards you. You see how it blends those blocks together? And we're going to, you know, you can just play with this, and basically what you can do as you are using this is you can use it to pull things out, such as, come right over here, Ed. You can use it to pull things towards yourself, and then slowly but surely bring it down and arc it out, and then you can create yourself sort of overhang there. You can do them as big or as small as you want, and then what you do is you switch back to your arrow, and you kind of, you know, melt them, and you get it a little bit smoother, and things like that, and you just play with this until you have the shape that you want. And normally I would go a little bit more in depth on this, but I think we're running out of time, so what I primarily want to stress about the burn ball is that you need to experiment with it. Experiment on a part of your terraforming build that you don't want to screw up. You can always use your /U to undo things, and just kind of see where it takes you, because in fact this is one of those brushes that allows you to do things that come from your imagination. No natural terrain structure is generally going to look like this unless it's in a very windy area. So I would say, you know, play with it and make alien looking structures and make cool looking things that looks like they're shaped by magic and stuff like that. And alright Ed, that's about all I've got for you, so we'll see you next time.
So there we go, guys. That's your basic terraforming in a few minutes, and this literally is the foundation of all good builds. You could do an amazing terraforming structure, dump a little teeny house on there, and it'd still look awesome. And just to sum up, that was with the Voxel Sniper plugin that you can get from Bucket and all over the web pretty much, because it's world famous. So if you'd like, if you comment, and of course don't forget to subscribe, and we'd love to hear from you if you've got some ideas of what you want to see next. If you've got some comments or some pro tips of your own, please leave them in the comment section. Thanks guys, and until next time, take it easy.